So, when it comes to basketball players, there are some that immediately come to mind. Dennis Rodman, Larry the Bird Johnson, Michael Jordan, and of course Shaquille O'Neal. So who was the biggest one or had the best acting career? Maybe Michael Jordan, that's about it. Because Shaq actually did star in a movie. He starred in one that is reeking of the cheese, Steel, from 1997. A funny, entertaining, good versus evil movie. Bob Hessler, LA Times. With awesome weaponry in big hard style, NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal unleashes a Shaq attack of heroics and humor in this jovial action adventure based on the popular DC Comics character. Justice, Safe Streets, Payback, Metallurgist John Henry Irons O'Neal vows to claim them all when a renegade military reject, Judd Nelson, puts new super weapons in dangerous hands, helped by electronics whiz Anna Beth Gesh and an imaginative scrap metal worker, Richard Roundtree. Irons becomes Steel, wearing body armor, wielding a fearsome electro hammer, and riding a gadget-packed motorcycle. He's ready to wage war if he can fix the untimely glitches in his untested gear. You all be cool now. The good guy tells two crime victims he rescues. There's a lot of thrilling before Steel himself can start chilling. So how to describe this one? This one is, well, it's a Saturday morning. It's a cartoon come to life. It's a Saturday morning cartoon come to life. Let me explain. You got some zany characters, and you got the futuristic weaponry. This phaser emitting cannon that can just destroy buildings, destroy tanks, and everything else. Because this weapon gets loose and it gets into the hands of the underground people who want to take over the world with these weapons, and they do cause some damage. So it is kind of nice to see that. But at the same time, this movie just brings on something. This movie brings on the cheese. Yes, a slice of Velveeta cheese. Because there are plenty of one-liners. Has a hammer out. It's hammer time. There's when Steel gets what is it? He gets told by the cops to put his hands up. He does. It also unleashes a grappling hook. And he starts going up, and the cop says, "Well, his hands went up, so." Yeah, there's also the ever infamous scene where it's like there's where two people are trapped in a room and there's a grenade and he has to throw it. It's like, will the grenade be able to escape and blow up elsewhere, or will it not? A slowdown, multiple angles of the grenade. Finally, it lops over a very small hole and it explodes. So, yeah. And even Richard Roundtree, yep, that's right, Mr. Shaft himself is in here, just adding more to this ridiculous cheese factor. And, it's B-grade enjoyable. That's exactly what this is. I mean, just back. Shaquille O'Neal himself is 7'1", 7'2". They couldn't find a stunt double to perform in place of him, so he had to perform all of his own stunts, literally. So it's like, hello, John. It's like, hello, Tom Cruise, and hello, John Wick actor. Here's another actor who is doing his own stunts. So yeah, technically that does count. And just there's also a chase scene, like about roughly 16 minutes in like where trains are connecting and disconnecting, where he's trying to follow one of the schmucks who has the weapons, and it's a little catch game. It's like, oh, let's zoom in on the trains connecting and disconnecting. Let's get an overhead shot. It's almost like chasing a bad guy mixed with Frogger. Seriously, I'm like, this is so great. It's hilarious. Of course, there's also the cliches that you'll see. My personal favorite is that there's a motorcycle that's hidden in some trash, like a little dumpster and an alleyway. It's just residing there for no reason. Gets it out. I'm like, oh, how convenient is that? Oh yeah, but he's not meant to be a super. But Steele himself is not meant to be a superhero, as the director Sino is like, we're tired of like all the superheroes and all the crud going on in the world. We wanted to show a character who does make a difference in the city. So he's more like a superhuman being, because it takes the folk hero that is John Henry, who was I guess a role model or a folk hero for like the building of the what was that, the West Virginia Railroad, who had a massive hammer. It was like big and powerful. It seemed to be kind of like one that folks could look up to, the African American community could look up to. Like, hey, we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to look up to him, kind of like that. And so there's the motif of John Henry Irons. I guess you could call this kind of like a superhero, a superhuman being version of that, if you will. And it's just, I mean, it does pay some pretty good tribute to keep the name in the zeitgeist of popular culture, if you will. That was handled with respect. I have to give a lot of credit for that. But and it's like with the hammer, this hammer is like it's updated to have electromagnetic properties and be able to shoot something like a laser or something like that. So like that was handled with class. I have to say credit for that. But the acting in this movie is, I mean, Shaquille O'Neal is a philanthropist, appears for Icy Hot and legendary basketball player, but he just needed to stay out of the. Now let this be an example of him being like, hey, I made a movie, I portrayed a character very well. All right, leave it at that. Because, like I said, this movie is the it's a cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon come to life. I mean, even a wheelchair that a person is in has some over-the-top features. I'm like, this is only something that would be seen in like the 1990s. I mean, this is pretty much what it is. A B-grade movie that's enjoyable. It's an encapsulation of the 1990s. Soundtrack is pretty good, but just in between all the cliched, just in between all the conventional dialogue, in between all the the action scenes, and just kind of a little bit of bad CGI. It's like, this movie is not too well known, and I think maybe if I never met Shaquille O'Neal, but I probably wouldn't bring this up to him, say, hey, can you sign this DVD right here for me? And I'd just be like, well, really can't do that. But you know what? Like I say, you want to see, this is an entertaining B movie. So if you want to see something that is an encapsulation of the 1990s with cheesy dialogue, Richard Roundtree, and a Shaft joke. I mean, there's even music for Shaft. So yeah, I don't know. If you want to see something that's silly, pays homage to a great folk hero, and kind of decent usage of the DC character, but keep in mind it's a B movie, I recommend that you watch Steel.